Phoenix police now investigating a possible case of sexual assault after a woman who's in a vegetative state gave birth at a Valley healthcare facility.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Mike Gonzalez alongside Tram Mai in for Mark and Caribe tonight. Tonight, we know that patient has not been able to speak or move for more than 10 years.
Yeah, Team 12's Nicole Zymek is tracking our big story from the Live Alert Center. And Nicole, the question on everyone's mind is, how did this happen?
Yeah, Tram, that is the big question, and that is exactly what police are now trying to determine. But also troubling is that according to one person close to this case who we spoke to, no one at the care facility even knew the patient was pregnant until she was actually ready to give birth last weekend.
Hacienda Healthcare in Phoenix at the center of a baffling and disturbing sexual assault investigation. The victim, a woman in a vegetative state for more than 10 years. Yet somehow she was impregnated and gave birth last week. We spoke to a source with close knowledge of the case. She tells us staff had no idea the patient was pregnant until she started moaning on Saturday. She tells us by the time the nurse came in, the baby was already coming out. The patient could not talk or communicate and is in a wing where patients require around-the-clock care. Patients there are seen by several people throughout the day, including nurses, nurses' aides, maintenance staff, as well as housekeepers. Phoenix Police confirms it is actively investigating. And in a statement, Hacienda Healthcare says, quote, "We have recently become aware of a deeply disturbing incident involving the health and safety of a Hacienda resident. While federal and state privacy laws prohibit us from publicly discussing a patient's health or case, Hacienda has and will continue to cooperate fully with law enforcement and all of the relevant regulatory agencies regarding this matter." The Arizona Department of Health Services sent this statement. Quote, "Upon learning of the allegation, Arizona Department of Health Services immediately initiated an on-site compliant investigation to ensure the health and safety of the patients. During this time, the agency has required heightened safety measures to be implemented at the facility, including increased staff presence during patient interactions, increased monitoring of the patient care areas, and increased security measures with respect to visitors at the facility."
It also tells us that since the birth, Hacienda Healthcare has now changed its protocol and requires male staff members to be accompanied by female staff members when attending to patients. We're also told that there are no cameras inside the hallways or in the rooms. Live in the Alert Center, Nicole Zymek, 12 News.
Nicole, thank you.